Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on archive. Only a minute late this time. All right. I just did my sound check and we are good. Okay. Make sure you throw a jab at that like button. The jab to the like button sets everything up just like it does in a boxing fight. You jab that like button, right? It sets up the right cross, okay, to that subscribe button and that uppercut to the bell button. That way you are notified every time DStyleBoxing comes on live. And remember, Mondays through Thursdays, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, DStyleBoxing Live. We got Haplotype on Mondays. We got Calix on Wednesdays. And today on Thursday, I'm being joined by Reggie Owens from Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. What's going on, bro?
Man, just ready to get into this deep boxing talk, man. We got a wealth of topics to talk about, man. Can't wait to get into it, man.
Absolutely. And Floyd Mayweather Sr. has a message for everybody. Right, so utilize the jab to the like button. I know Reggie Owens already threw a jab to the like button. Right?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely. And AJ10 is already in the house, okay? He's already saying, look, man, use that jab. And I think it's AJ10. Yes, that is from the Mayorga versus De La Hoya fight after the first round. The jazz musician in the house. And giving her and AJ a piece of their own medicine. And I am loving it. We're going to definitely get to that. But first, the ESPYs were last night. I don't even know who the hell else won what. Okay, but they finally did. I'm going to talk about what they did right, what they still need to do right, and what they did wrong. All right. So first, we're going to talk about what they did right. What did they do right? They finally, after years of me saying this, they finally separated boxers and MMA fighters from the same fucking category. These motherfuckers had best skiers and best bowlers and best dart thrower. I don't know what they call dudes that play darts, okay? But they have awards for those dudes, right? But but for a boxer couldn't have its own award, and MMA fighters can have their two worldwide sports. All right, it should be respected as separate sports, and it finally separated the awards. What are your thoughts about that, Reggie?
They found a convenient time to go about doing it, and they do it at the time in which Dana White comes over to exclusive TV deals with them. Yeah. And right at the point in which boxing has once again taken over, not just MMA, but taken over the UFC. So as the UFC goes on its decline, to kind of keep it within the, the lens of sports fans, they bring about this partitioning of the sports. So they separate where they get award, boxing gets an award. So it's just a convenience to kind of make the UFC and keep its relevance around as they try to grow the sport through their broadcasting of it. But I just find it being convenient.
I agree. It's definitely due to convenience, because now they have this platform, ESPN Plus, which they showcase boxing in. And then, of course, UFC in. And then, of course, on their main platform, they have top-ranked fights and prelims for UFC big events and stuff like that. So I think I agree with you. It is due to convenience. But even though it's due to convenience, I still think it's a good thing. So now they have their own awards. They still haven't separated male MMA fighters and female MMA fighters, and the same for female boxers, male boxers. For other sports, they do it. Every other sport, female this, best male athlete with a disability, best female athlete with a disability. Okay, best male athlete this, best female athlete that. Right? For boxing and MMA, they don't get that. What are your thoughts on that, Reggie?
Man, and you bring up a great point. That's another thing that bugs me, because when Ronda Rousey was around, I'm pretty sure she won it over every combat athlete.
Right.
But now that she's been faded to black, and we get other females that have kind of stepped in the place of her. Here they go about not individualizing things, and also ESPN is just all over the place because they do try to pay honor to the women athlete, but here that they don't have this particular representation when it comes to the female side of sports. They go about abandoning that and making these women compete against some of the males. But some of these females could have, even in boxing, what was accomplished by what was her name, Clarissa Shields. She should have been at least in nomination with some of the other male athletes. And even Amanda Nunes, she's a 2-division title holder. If not, what is it, 2? Yeah, I think it's a 2-division title holder. So she should at least. These women live up to what these dudes is doing in combat sports. They probably can't fight against each other, but what they're doing as far as fighting the best that's out there, unifying, grabbing all the titles, they should have been up there, and that's where ESPN fell short on that one.
Absolutely. I do want to say, I want to give a big shout out to Blood Boxing in the house. Okay, he's been releasing videos from that vault. Okay, you guys go check it out, man. He's releasing videos from the vault, old school style. I've been thinking about doing the same thing, man, but let me tell you, man, I haven't gotten around to it, but Blood Boxing doing his thing. I don't know where my dragon style comments are. I don't know what happened, all right? But apparently YouTube just wiped out all the old school comments. I think that's a shame, man. We used to have debates on there and everything. The comment sections were a whole nother animal back in the day. But shout out to Blood Boxing. DJ Mexicano de Tejas says, what's good, D-Style? I'm doing great, and Reggie's doing great. Now, I want to get down to the nitty-gritty. First of all, Canelo Alvarez wins Best Boxer Award and Best MMA Award for fighters Daniel Cormier. I want to go over the MMA one really quick because I want to get deeper into the boxing one. Israel Adesanya, I don't know who this dude is. Henry Cejudo, I know who he is. You know, good fighter. Amanda Nunes, by the way, beat Cyborg and Holly Holm in the same rolling year, right? And they're putting her with a man. I mean, this is insane. She should have been the female MMA fighter of the year, in my opinion, obviously. But they don't do that. Whatever. What is your thought on this award, and who do you think should have been, you know, should John Jones have been out of here maybe? I mean, what do you think, Reggie?
I think Amanda, I like Daniel Cormier, but I think Amanda should have won that just based on the level of opposition she's fought. Cormier was kind of really, I think Cormier was coming off of a loss before he moved up to heavyweight and faced Stipe Miocic. But I think Amanda deserved that just based on what she's doing. She's reigning through that division. She's knocking everything off in spectacular fashion. She should have even competing against the man. I think she should have won that award. Israel Adesanya, he's a rising star, kind of a John Jones, Anderson Silva type hybrid fighter, but he just hasn't reached the point of fighting that upper echelon of talent. He's up there, but he hasn't faced one of the champions yet. But I can sit with Cormier. I don't know if I can sit with. I don't remember Cormier being too active. I remember him coming off the John Jones loss, but Amanda should have definitely won that. But I like Cormier, and this is another point where I think ESPN failed, and they're failing some of these women athletes as well.
From my understanding, they're still doing it the same way. This is like they vote on this, but the MMA one, I mean, I can't say too much because I don't follow it. I'm a spectator in MMA, and I'm watching it more now. But I want to get to the boxing one. The nominees were, drum roll. All right, that was a terrible drum roll. But anyway, Vasil Lomachenko. Okay, you had Usyk and Terrence Crawford, right? Alexander Usyk, I believe I pronounced that right. I try to avoid that first name. And Terrence Crawford. Where the hell is the heavyweight champion, Deontay Wilder? I don't know where he's at. Apparently, they didn't know. I guarantee you Wilder would have won that poll. Just based off all the replays of everything going viral with his knockouts and everything. They did not put – he wasn't even considered for the poll. All right. There was no MMA fighters in the same poll this time, all boxers. And then Clarissa Shields does not get any recognition whatsoever. Okay. All right. What the hell? And then Spence, I think Spence could have been put on here, to be honest. I mean, but nonetheless, what are your thoughts on Alvarez winning this? Because, you know, he beat Rocky Fielding, remember, right? What are your thoughts on this, Reggie Owens?
Man, I think it's bullshit because I don't know. Only thing Canelo done this year, well, I don't even know how they base it. If it's based on 2018, 19 is still early, but Canelo fighting Rocky Fielding did nothing. And a lot of these fans ain't even getting to see Canelo, so they really don't even know what the hell he's doing if it's based on fans' votes. And then also, a lot of these fans still don't know who the hell Lomachenko is. They really don't know who the hell Alexander Usyk is. And they know who Terrence Crawford is, but based on Terrence Crawford hasn't been able to get the fights that he needs. He hasn't fought none of the prominent names. There's no way nobody in boxing should reign over being the best boxer of the year over Deontay Wilder. He's fought the top heavyweight opposition. He's destroying things in remarkable fashion. You don't even watch highlights on any of the other cats that's been mentioned in there. You don't even watch Canelo highlights anymore. The only thing that's making a highlight within the sport is Deontay Wilder. So this is just a foolish side. Every PBC fighter has been left off this list. And the PBC homes the most kind of star recognized boxers that are out there. So it's BS, but it's ESPN with their bullshit awards, man. And really the ESPYs kind of me when it comes to combat sports. It's kind of this gifted award show for casuals who don't know shit.
I agree with that. It's definitely casuals a show, and in fairness to Canelo, the Gennady Golovkin rematch, where I believe he just that would have been in. I guess they do it from July to July, so July 2018 till July of 2019. I think that's how they do it. I could be wrong about that, but nonetheless. The Gennady Golovkin fight was in August of last year. So I don't have a problem with Canelo being on the list and consideration, but you got to have Wilder in there. You know, you really do. I just don't understand why he's not in there. But, you know, that's me. That's my opinion. And I also think Wilder would have won, right? They used to put Mayweather on this list, having one fight, okay, and they would put him on, and they would put Pacquiao with one fight a year, okay, on these fucking lists, okay. I'm just saying. So that's my opinion. What about Spence? You think Spence should have been on this list?
Damn, I don't want to be biased about it, but who Spence only fought Mikey last year, right?
Look at check.
I don't remember Spence being that active, man, and I don't want to be biased, so I got to stick to how I'm looking and measuring it. I don't think Spence can be on the list as well, but he had a spectacular fight against Mikey, but I don't know what followed before that.
Yeah, the Ocampo fight wouldn't quite make it. So I mean, I see what you mean, right? He only had the Garcia fight. But
it's better than what Loma and Alexander Usyk fought. So I don't know.
Yeah. It's just, some of these, I don't know, man. Some of these cruiserweights, I just wasn't impressed, man. I know people say I'm hating and this, but I wasn't impressed with some of these cruiserweights that Usyk fought. But he did unify and everything, and I could give him that, you know. But man, you got to have Wilder on there. You just got to. I mean, you finally have a heavyweight champion of the world, of the United States. You know what I mean? And you don't have him on a award show based out of the U.S. You know, like there's just something not right here, but that's my opinion. But hey, whatever. You know, they're moving on. Yada yada yada. Right? That dude. Somebody with wrench, get rid of that dude. All right. You said became undisputed though, undisputed above all others, says Joe Lopez. Okay, you could have him on the list. That's fine. I bet you anything. If Wilder was on that list, he would have won based on the metrics, man. The way this dude went viral with his knockout over Brazil, okay, and he had a hell of a fight with Tyson Fury. Yes, it was a draw, okay, but that was a hell of a fight, man. He defended his WBC champion. He's still walking around with the title, right? and that Mr. Sewer guy, you know, is gone, and that's it. All right. Any final thoughts? I mean, look, man. Well, first, I agree that ESPN obviously does not know what they're doing. They obviously finally did the right thing, separating the awards out of convenience. I think it would be more the same moving forward. But you have any final thoughts about this, Reggie?
Yeah, they go with the you know, kind of meshing women to compete with males. They got to separate that because the female side of things is starting to heat up. They have to give the women their own play, and this way it inspires young girls who kind of want to enter the sport to kind of get something to where their performances and their hard work is being rewarded. So I think they do need to separate that. They do it for basketball, they do it for soccer, they do it for every other sport. So they have to get that together, and they got to find a better way of putting combat artists into the categories in a different way of scoring it to how people are voted, so that way they don't lose the value in this award. I know they put a lot of money behind it. It's creating the conversations amongst us, and we grow to like it. We agree with certain decisions and dislike it. So as much as I hate ESPN, this awards show carries some high merit. So they just got to tune some things up and get it right.
I got you. All right. Well, that's that. I mean, it is ESPN. We can't. I guess we can't expect too much from mainstream media and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I want to remind everyone at the end of this show, the Eliminator will be closed. All right. We got a poll going right now. Roy Jones Jr. way ahead. But I don't know if Roch and Paul Williams are going to stay alive, man. They got to stay at 10%. If they get less than that, they are gone. Right. And Wink, you're right. It's pretty safe to advance for next week on next week's Eliminator. But it looks like Roy Jones will be advancing. But just a reminder, go to community on my page, scroll down, vote on the Eliminator. Right. Okay, J Ball Sewer. Oh, okay. No, nobody could do what Canelo does. Right. Anyway. Just don't get out of line, or I swear to God, you'll get kicked out of here. All right. Face Up Boxing is a made-up thing. This is Joe Lopez, 40 ounce, and he says he should have won a Diva Award. Canelo should have. And AJ 10's more likely they voted Canelo since he's more recognizable. And AJ 10 did our fact checker of the show says the ESPYs are decided by sports broadcasters, writers, and quote-unquote sports personalities. So we got dudes like Stephen A. Smith, Reggie Owens. Is he a sports personality? I think he voted for the best boxer too.
But what's even crazy about that? ESPN comes out with this list of I think it was the most popular boxers in the world, and Deontay Wilder tops this list. How the hell is he left out the nominations? And who's like, I can't, man. Like I say, I mean, let's keep it real.
It's a popularity contest. So why didn't they put Wilder on there?
Exactly.
I remember there was years they put Klitschko on there when Klitschko didn't really fight anybody those years. You know what I mean? So right. I feel that, look, I don't know if they were like I don't know what it was, but I just don't think, what a coincidence that Vasily Lomachenko and like 50% of the boxers on the list were ESPN Plus fighters. Okay.
Right.
And they put Usyk in there. And then Canelo. I mean, I don't know. In my opinion, Wilder should have been on here. And I'm telling you, it would have shut up a lot of people saying that Wilder ain't popular and all this. It would have shut a lot of people up.
Exactly. It almost seemed like there's a line drawn in the sand between PBC on one side, Top Rank, Matchroom, and everybody else gets into this award show. And also when it comes to MMA, there's a Bellator that is out there. Why aren't their athletes being included in some of these categories?
Right. I mean, you could make more room for them if they did include the women on there too. All right. But Amanda Nunes and Clarissa Shields should have ESPYs for being the best women fighter in their respective sports, in my opinion. But apparently they don't do that for women fighters. That they have an award for fat ass bowlers, okay, who are not athletes, people. Bowlers are not athletes, okay. So, but you can't do it for a female fighter. But anyway, I digress.
Right.
All right. Eddie LM in the chat. Shout out to him. Okay. Look at this. I don't know where these Canelo fans are coming from, bro. Like, what's going on? Like, oh, Canelo's the face of boxing. Like, okay, fine. All right. Good for him. All right. Let's put him in a poll with Wilder next time. See what fucking happens. All right. With that said, these guys came out of nowhere. All right. But with that said, let's talk some Andy Ruiz. All right. Jesse Owens to tell people what went on with Andy Ruiz. What happened today?
Oh, man. TMZ asked him about the fight and potential date, location. Andy had to put the smash on him. Said this fight ain't going nowhere close to the UK. He's the A side. He's the champion. He decides where this fight is fought. And that's absolutely correct. And it also pokes back. Man, Eddie Hearn is just having a bad goddamn week, man. A bad week. And so now Andy done put his weight down, and he's going to dictate where this fight goes. And hopefully he dictates how this money is divided amongst them as well. But this has been big news. Just Andrew Ruiz is flexing that world champion muscle around. So he's flexing on these cats and taking away the advantages that Eddie Hearn wants to have by going over there, corrupting the UK system, getting one of those old Richard Steele type referees over there to cheat the fight and shit. So man, I love what Andy Ruiz got going on with this. He's a champ.
Now, before I give my thoughts on this, all right, just a reminder, guys. Right, let me allow Senior to tell you guys. Let him tell you.
Look, man, you can knock this son of a bitch out right now. Now quit wasting time, man. Use your fucking jab, man. Use your jab.
All right, utilize the jab to the like button. And for those of you that are too literal, that means just press the like button. The Canelo fans in the chat, feel free to hit the unlike. It's perfectly fine. Okay, but bring it on. I don't give a shit. Right, but just do something. Unlike it, okay, or like it or whatever. Right? For all those AJ fans out here, right, wanting to preach, wanting to talk about, oh, there is no negotiations. There's nothing Ruiz can do or say, and it's all predetermined anyway. It's going to happen wherever Joshua and Eddie Hearn say. For all you fans out there, Andy Ruiz just said it, right? They asked him, what if Joshua doesn't want to fight in the Garden or in Vegas or wherever you want, or it doesn't, let's say he wants to fight in the UK. Andy Ruiz said he ain't the champ. He don't call the shots. I'm the A side. I call the shots. Me, I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. I don't see AJ with no belts. I don't see AJ walking around with the belts. He ain't around with the belts. And I'm going to tell you right now that there is negotiation. There's no such thing as non-negotiable when you lose the leverage. And there is no bigger leverage than the heavyweight championship of the world. He lost that leverage. Rematch clause means you got to fight him again. Andy Ruiz didn't say he's not going to fight AJ. He didn't say he's not going to give him the rematch. He just said, you don't call the shots no more. You're the ones that need this fight. You're the one that needs to avenge your loss to me. AJ, you need to avenge the fight to me. So yes, I'm going to flex this muscle called the heavyweight championship of the world. I got your belts. You want them? Come take them. Guess what? If you beat Andy Ruiz in the rematch, you call the shots after that, AJ. All right? You'll get to call the shots, but you don't got the belts no more. You need this fight. You need to redeem yourself. And if you can't redeem yourself, you ain't worth shit. What other options do you have? You don't have time to go to litigation. You don't have time for this shit to go to the Supreme Court and all that. You don't have time for that.
You absolutely right, man. You killing it. Keep killing it, man. You on point with it.
That's right. You know what? What is it with these people, all right, that just go around and just believe everything dudes like Hatman tell them? Okay, they just believe whatever. They just parrot this shit. They start becoming their parrots. These Eddie Hearn parrots out here. Rawr, rawr, Eddie Hearn said, rawr. Like, I don't give a shit what Eddie Hearn said. I don't give a fuck that you're parroting what he said. Okay, rawr, but Hatman said, rawr. Hatman's not a source. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay? And don't give me this who's trying to duck the rematch. Okay, would you duck a dude you knocked out that you may quit? No. That's the dumbest shit ever. You're not going to take this dude to the UK, all right? Chisora and all these other dudes, talking about it. If the fight happens in the UK, this wouldn't have happened. Like, what the fuck does that mean? It was in the UK, what? You would have had a ref that would do something favorable for you, dude? What does that even mean? They got Hatman out here. You got Hatman over here. Let me tell you guys something. In boxing, the truth is that Eddie Hearn has been telling the truth every day. Shut the fuck up, Hatman. Making people look stupid out here, all right? And Malik, wherever the fuck you're at, all right? Tell me about it next time I run into you in a hangout. You're going to let me have it, all right? I'll destroy you next time. I was being nice that time. Reggie Owens, what are the thoughts you have regarding this, man?
Man, I just want Ruiz to get back in this fight, beat the brakes off of AJ. And not just because I want to see AJ lose. I want to see, I really want to see Eddie Hearns lose. I just want to see the ultimate defeat of Eddie Hearns. Eddie Hearns thought he can go into this thing, make all the plays, thought he can force, because he the one that forced this rematch. I never heard where fighters who got the brakes beat off of them make the call for a rematch so goddamn quick. This is all an Eddie Hearns call. Eddie Hearns thought he can dictate it, and he's been opposed on both sides. He's been opposed by his fighter who stood up for once in his damn life, and he's also being opposed by this new champion. And it's just looking bad for Eddie. Man, that's ultimately who I love that this get back is getting at. Man, I just love that it's Eddie Hearns being destroyed, he comes off as a shrewd mark ass motherfucker, and I'm glad it's hitting him in his mouth. And now all of a sudden he wants to play like he's a promoter. Now he wants to speak up and defend the clown Dillian White. And with Dillian White, they think they can go into with these sanctioned bodies trying to pull rank up on them, and they've been played. The WBC still ain't even announced this Rivas fight as a title eliminator. They're just being played, and I love what's going out of this. And Andrew Ruiz see the play that he can make on this. He's around the right advisor who gon' show him the way to make the right money moves and how to navigate through this boxing world as a champion. And shit, ultimate goal is to get Eddie Hearn up out this business, make his dad fold the company like he did once before, and we'll see Eddie Hearns putting on Snickers and Dart championship promotion. So that's ultimately what I want to see, getting Eddie Hearn up out of here, ridding the sport of fools who come in here and divide it. Eddie Hearn had so many opportunities of making this a great sport, making the division hot. What he do? He played prima donna style with the champion he had, who was, putting the work in the gym, getting in that ring, getting punched on. But here Eddie Hearn's acting as if he's the fighter. And now he's played himself as he's trying to play the sport of boxing. He tried to play America, where he ultimately had to come in to try to bring success for that little failure of an app that he got going on. and it all fell apart when they finally came up over here. And I just love everything about it. Ruiz is going to always live in history. He's going to always be remembered in history for pulling this off. So, man, much respect to Andy Ruiz, and much respect for him making a statement, putting his foot down, and he's going to constantly do that. He won't fold. So that's what I like about that.
Absolutely. Joe Lopez 40 ounce, the t-shirt will come. I'll get the t. I haven't gotten around to it, but I don't even know if Andy Ruiz has a t-shirt, by the way, but I'll get around to it. We still have some Canelo fanboys over here. I would like to ask him how he tastes, but we don't want to get too we don't want them to tell us. Okay, Eddie Alem, Mayweather's still Canelo's daddy. Batman tweets a salute to the chat. AJ10 still in the house. The jazz musician in the house. Thought about him being Ruiz is the face of Mexican boxing. All right. And talking about, we'll talk about Ruiz and Wilder when and if we get there. We'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we cross it. And Boxing Dialogue, people act like Ruiz landed a lucky shot KO. There was no lucky shots landed in that fight, right? Right, Reggie?
Hell no, 6 rounds of ass whooping. of pure domination. and also when you get through comments, let's get to that Canelo's the face of boxing. I want to stump that one out, but after you finish the comments.
Sure. I just want to give a shout out to Bernulis Afro Rican in the house. All right, Batman tweet in there, man, doing his thing. And Nelson Santos, smash the goddamn like button. You throw a jab. Let's get it to 20 likes ASAP. All right? ASAP. Now, AJ Wilder is more likely to KO Fury than Fury knocking out Wilder. Definitely. I mean, Wilder is a power puncher for sure. Okay, J-Ball Source says, I thought Wilder Fury was a draw. It was. Okay, Batman tweet, J-Ball, I'll give you that. All right. Anthony Josh is going to get knocked out against his Glove Corps gamer. Right? And Anthony Josh is going to get knocked out again, so we got that. All right. Reggie, what do you want to say about that, man? The face, la cara del boxeo, the face of boxing. What do we want to say about that?
Man, we're going to stop that out because Canelo, for one, that star power is dying off. He is flamed out. He went over to this app. They thought it was going to be a major money move that attracted a lot of folks up over there. It ain't shift the needle not 1 inch. Now, all of a sudden, what has really deflated that situation with Canelo is the fact that Andy Ruiz came in and pulled off this thing. I ain't never seen Canelo get the presidential treatment over in the country he's from. A Mexican-American go over there and gets treated like a king. They roll out the red carpet. He done met people within the country that Canelo's probably never met, and he's attracted a whole deal of fanfare. Just look at what happened over social media. That's a great way to measure the climate and the environment of things. This dude become a sensation overnight, 1 million followers. He's where it's at. And now you have all this young Mexican talent that's starting to prop up within the sport. And there's more attraction towards these young up and coming Mexican fighters. No one's watching Canelo fights anymore. How is he the face of boxing? It's gotten so bad over there to where now DAZN is dictating what fights Canelo can take and that he can't take. Before that, when they thought he was a star in the 2 fights, they let him pick and choose what he wanted. But things are going ass backwards so fast, they jumping in here trying to save the ship. But it's ultimately getting to the point to where Canelo is up out this game, and now they must find the next replacement. Canelo just ain't that dude anymore. He's been replaced by all this young Mexican talent that's propped up in the sport. And also, Andy Ruiz is just really still in the shine from Canelo. And it's just looking bad for Canelo. Now you're hearing talks of Canelo being stripped by another sanctioning body. He's being forced into all type of other fights. Everybody's coming out the woodworks to call this dude out. Now you got Bevo calling the guy out. You got Derenchenko as a mandatory. This dude's about to end up assless in this sport. So how is he the face of boxing when he can't attract anything up over there? So you guys, I know you're a fan. We all gravitate towards certain fighters. I'm pretty sure whoever's one that I don't even want to be rude to the fan, but the one who's kind of trying to J-Ball trying to prop Canelo up. How can you explain that? What's going on with Canelo? There's a lot of negative pressure being put up on this dude. He's receiving the pressure that AJ couldn't handle. So yeah, that's what I have on that. But Face of Boxing, maybe about 2 or 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago. But currently, no, he's been replaced. There's too much young talent coming up in this game, and they're being broadcasted. They're being seen.
You know, I want J-Ball to put in chat. Give me a compelling reason right now, because you said you can. You know, I want you to put it right now. I want you to write it down, type it down. Give me a compelling reason why Canelo is the face of boxing. Okay, and no, his deal with the Zone, this guaranteed deal where he gets $30 million to fight a Fielding, does not make him the face of boxing. Right? So I want you to give me a compelling reason. And before you give it to me, I'm going to tear it apart. So you better really think about what you're going to post. If I was you, I wouldn't do anything. But if you want to give me a compelling reason, go ahead and post it. And just tell me what's going on. And then we'll go from there. Okay? Simple as that. Right? With that said, let me tell you something. If Ruiz wins that AJ rematch, okay? And for what I'm seeing, okay, I want to talk about AJ in a little bit. For what I'm seeing, it's probably going to happen again, right? But if he wins that rematch, Canelo's not even going to be the face of Mexico, bro. Okay? He's not even going to be the face of Mexico. And Andy Ruiz is going to snatch May 5th from him, and he's going to snatch Mexican Independence Day in September from him too. He's going to snatch it from him. Just like that. And just like he's telling Eddie Hearn right now, when Canelo's like, oh, no, but it's my day, he's going to say, I'm the heavyweight champ. I'm the champ. I'm the champ. I call the shots. I'm the A-side. That's what he's going to say. All right? You Canelo fans need to be really careful. Look, I like Canelo, but it's time to step up and, fight the best fighters in his division. And maybe if he starts doing that, then we'll start talking about him being the face of boxing. All right? But he's not representing the sport right now very well. I can tell you that. Right? Running away from some of these fights is kind of embarrassing if we're fucking honest. Pretty embarrassing. I'm just saying. Speaking of embarrassing, we got Anthony Joshua is over here doing his training montages, all right? The dude is on the slowest mode of a fucking treadmill, moving backwards while he's shadowboxing. I don't know what that's about, but apparently he's already training. Like, look, man. I don't know, man. Joshua ain't looking so good to me, man. Like mentally, like he's not all there. I think it's a mistake that they're throwing him in there with Andy Ruiz again. It's a mistake. It's a fucking mistake, right? And on another thing, people are comparing his rematch clause to Rockman versus Lewis. Lewis, as you guys remember, got knocked out by Rockman. I believe that fight was in South Africa. I could be mistaken about that, but somebody fact check that. Lewis exercised his rematch clause, okay? Just like Anthony Joshua is. The difference is that Rockman did not want to fight Lewis outright. He didn't want to fight him. Don King had other plans to put Rockman in the ring with fucking Tyson. He didn't want to fight him at all. That's why the shit went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they ruled that either Rockman has to fight him or sit out for 2 years or 18 months, one or the other. Those were his options. He decided, okay, fine, I'll have to fight Lewis. All right? In this case, Andy Ruiz is not saying, I don't want to fight the dude I just fucked up in 6 rounds. He's not saying I don't want to fight him. That's not what he's saying. He's just saying that if you want me to give you the special privilege of going to the UK so you could try and job me, show me the money, Eddie. Give me $50 million and I'll go. How about that? No, but you can't do that. We already have an agreement. Fuck you, Eddie. Show me the money, all right? Or we could take this shit to court. You got 2 years, Eddie? I know you need that DAZN money, Eddie. I know DAZN's breathing down your throat. Do you got 2 years to take this to the courts? You got 2 years. And good luck in court, arguing that, that he doesn't want to fight you. He's saying yes to the rematch. In fact, he's saying let's fight in the same spot we fought the last time. I'll fight you in the Garden, the same fucking spot. So there you go. Now let me read this comment really quick. Let's see what J Ball put. Canelo just one of the best fighter of the year. He just won the best fight of the year it's an ESPY, bro. Calm down. Okay. You and I both know Canelo will fight these guys. Meanwhile, why don't these other guys step up instead of begging for the cash cow? Really? Is that's the best you got? Is that like that? That's what you thought about? What do you mean? Why don't they step up and fight? They're fighting the eliminators. They're becoming #1 contender. What else do you want? What else do you want? They're calling it. Is he going to step up and fight him? Yes or no? Charlo's been a fucking mandatory for I don't know how long, and they just gave him the belt. Canelo just gave up his belt. What do you mean, who has he fought? Well, you think he just got that belt from thin air or some shit? Where do you think the belt came from? He fought who he had to fight to get his title shot. So what are you arguing? In one sentence, you tell me, oh, no, Canelo will fight them. And the other sentence, you're telling me who have they fought. Who the fuck did Rocky Fielding fight? Who the fuck did Liam Smith fight? Who did they fight that they made him worthy to fight the cash cow? What do you think, Reggie Owens?
I'm tripping off his comments talking about his accolades. The accolades are there, but that's what happens when you take on challenges. But you don't speak of accolades as a reason behind why they don't have to face who's the apparent top level competition. The accolades, you set accolades off to the side until the career is over. These are the excuse that new age fans bring in when they're afraid for their favorite fighter being exposed. But that's what happens within the game. You win, you lose. My favorite fighter, Lennox Lewis. I ain't never been a casual in my life. Ain't no way when I thought there was a threat for Lennox Lewis where I was going to ever speak on creating reasons behind not wanting me to see him fight an opponent that posed a threat to him. And neither did Lennox Lewis do. When Lennox Lewis speaks, when he reflects back on the greatness of his career, he didn't duck any of these fighters. If there was a guy who people thought was better than him, he seek those fighters. The same thing you've seen with Roy Jones. Many of the greats can go back in their career and they can speak on this. Canelo's going to be one of those guys, if he doesn't take on these Charlo fights, these Bubu Andrade fights, he's not going to be able to sit at the table. He can't sit at the table with the Barreras, with the Moraleses, with the Marquezes, with none of the great Mexican fighters, because they'll give him the side eye because of these question marks left on his name, being him not scraping the food that's left on the plate at 160. You bring up accolades, please bring up the controversies as well. He's a drug cheat. If you want to keep it real, J-Ball, you got to keep it real and you speak holistically about everything that goes on. Accolades mean nothing when you're currently fighting. If you're in the game, if you want to speak on accolades, and if Canelo want to speak on accolades, he needs to go ahead and retire. They mean nothing in the game. He needs to show and prove. That's what the sport is about. And these guys are looking for Canelo, and he's avoiding them. These dudes then follow him up to the next weight class, and he's avoiding them. And what's he's doing? He's trying to climb back up once again to avoid these guys. Show his greatness. I believe in Canelo, but does he believe in himself? Do fans like you believe in him? I don't think so.
You have to challenge these guys, okay? You have to challenge them. Challenge them to be great. That's what you have to do. All right? It would have been easy for Chavez to say, nah, I don't got to fight Meldrick Taylor. Well, what has Meldrick Taylor fought? Who has he fought? What has he done? I'm the cash cow. I don't want to fight him, Don King. No. He could have done that too. And he would have had fans saying, oh, yeah, totally. He doesn't have to fight him. But then I don't know. The old school fans are a little more demanding, to be honest with you. All right? So I'll take that one back. At the end of the day, you got to fight these contenders. You got to fight them. You cannot just say, oh, no, but he's not going to beat him. He doesn't have to fight this guy. Nobody thought Frankie Randall was going to be the one to take the oath from Chavez. No one. No one thought an old Frankie Randall was going to be the one to pull it off. Nobody. And he did. So you don't know if Charlo could beat Canelo. You don't know if Andre could beat Canelo. You don't know. The only way to know is to get in the ring, show and prove, okay, and show us you're great. And if you do, you'll get all the praises in the world, but you don't just get it just because, okay? It's not the way it works, okay? Joshua had all the accolades over Andy Ruiz. He was walking in with like 10 belts and, talking about all the title, fights he's been in. And Ruiz, this is only Ruiz's first title fight. Like, it mattered. Did it matter in the end? No. And I did read your first comment. It was just so bad, I did you the favor, okay, and didn't read it out loud. Okay, so don't give me this, oh, you missed the first comment. All right? You argued that Canelo's the most hated fighter and everybody's trying to fight the cash cow. Stop it. All right? One day, all right, I don't know how old you are. I hope you're young. Because if you're not young, I don't even know what to say. But one day you're going to say, man, you know what that D-Style dude was right. You're not going to admit it now because if you're young, okay. If you're not young, I don't even know what to say. I don't even know. Cholo is 40. I think Canelo believes in himself. He just likes acting like a diva. He wants to handpick his opponents. So we will see, man. We will see what will happen with Canelo. Okay? He needs to stop being embarrassing, and he needs to start fighting the best fighters out there. All right? If you argue that he already has all the accolades, then retire. Then retire and leave. If he already done everything. He hasn't, okay, he needs to keep fighting the best. Muhammad Ali had amazing accolades. Guess what? He kept fighting the best. He didn't stop. You never heard Ali say, well, I already beat Frazier and Foreman, so I don't got to do anything else. You never heard Ali say that. Man, I beat Sonny Liston and George Foreman and Joe Frazier. Who's this guy fought? He ain't fought nobody. I don't got to fight. He never said that. Stop the nonsense. One more comment from you, and I'm moving on, bro. The only way you guys would be satisfied is if Canelo fought Andre, Charlo, and his little brother at the same time. And y'all still going to find a reason.
Wait, can I say something to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. J-Ball, that's the way the game is supposed to be. You're not supposed to – you want dudes to have comfort, to be able to act like divas, take on lower-tier opposition. When you're a champion, you're stating that you're the best. You're the best in the world. And when there's other opposition, other challengers, they're supposed to climb up to the top, and they're supposed to face you. That's what's supposed to happen in the sport. We're supposed to want to see him fight everybody who has proven themselves and made a name to earn the position of fighting Canelo. That's what it's supposed to be about. When you're a champion, everybody's hunting for you. Now you're creating this excuse, man. You got to cut that crap out, man. You're probably young. You're probably real attached to Canelo. You probably live vicariously through him. But at some point, he has to prove himself. And if he loses, don't turn your back on him. You don't knock somebody when they're down, man. All the greats have suffered losses. So, man, J-Ball, you're just looking bad out here, man. You're making up all these silly excuses which do not fit the mold of what a warrior is about. Warriors lose in battle. You can't go undefeated or look a certain way. Sometimes a warrior must face adversity, but you want this dude to walk through the game like he never like he's been washing his hands in clean water. He ain't never bust a sud or anything. So I don't know what you can't be a combat fan making comments defending a guy like that. If you believe in Canelo, he's the face of the game. If you believe that, you'll be saying bring all the motherfuckers on, but you're doing the opposite of that. You don't believe in the guy, so that makes you not a fan of Canelo's because you don't believe in him.
You gotta believe in the guy, okay? And if he loses, so what? You know, like it's just I'm not concerned if he loses. I want him to fight the best, right? If all these dudes at 160 fight each other, the top fighters, the Andres and the Charlos and the Canelos, if these three all fight each other, guess what, man? Some of these guys are gonna take L's, right? All three of them might take L's, right? It's just the way the game is, right? But he's got to fight him. Right? He's got to fight the dude, and that's it. Okay. A shout out to Pull Counter. I saw you in the chat. And Matthew Valentine showed up in the chat. Talk to us about Keith Thurman, Reggie Owens. What's going on with Keith?
Man, it's something strange going on with that dude, man. I don't know what's going on with Keith. I don't know if he's doing a whole lot of talking, being irrational, being unlike the Keith Thurman we're used to. I don't know if the moments as it nears, if it's becoming too big and he's speaking outlandishly. And I don't know, sometimes I see people doing it as a masking defense. Is he's trying to mask some of his nervousness? And then also what came out of Ness' question, asking about how his tone changes anytime Errol Spence's name is brought up, and what Keith Thurman responds for. So Keith Thurman kind of took the deep breath as responded to it, and he was put on the spot. There's somebody in the background as Keith is inside the ring and he's standing ringside. The guy standing on the side. When he hears Ness ask this question, he pulls his phone out and he's looking like, oh, he didn't put Keith on the spot. So Keith, after hearing this, his response was he wanted to say, let's keep it real. When did Errol Spence hit the scene? And he says, then he gets to talking about how much money he was making, being that Errol Spence wasn't worthy of the fight because he was making more money fighting other guys. Errol Spence was kind of was on his tail end, being that Errol Spence is too low level for him to even think about. But every time you got in front of a camera, you're speaking about the fight's going to happen this year. Then it moves on to the next year. Then you move on to the 2-year injury thing. So it was always this thing, but every time he created an excuse, he began to look bad. And then he says, also, why fight the best? So then he, as recognition to Earl being the best, he responds to Ness by saying, why fight the best today when you can fight the best tomorrow and make more money? So it's just like how irrational this dude is. And he also slipped up and stated that Fred pointed this out. Hold on, go up. About him, it wasn't that I dug Errol Spence. He slipped up and stated that and kind of went on with the comments. But the dude is irrational. I think the moment's getting a little bit too big for him. And he's trying to mask his nervousness by acting tough and talking big.
Yeah, man. I think the closer this fight gets, it's going to dawn on Keith, man. This fight with Pacquiao. And a lot of people are counting Pacquiao out. And let me tell you something, man. Keith hasn't looked good in a fight in I don't know how long. All right? He's talking about stopping Manny Pacquiao. This dude hasn't stopped anybody in years, dude. Right? I don't know what he's talking about. And it's in the same fucking weight class. It's not like he moved up 4 weight classes and cannot do it out anymore. Right? Like this guy's in the same fucking way. He hasn't done shit in years. So a lot of people out here predicting he's going to stop Manny Pacquiao. I don't know where you guys are seeing this from. Yeah, I don't know how or what. Now next week, man, we're going to have it's the week of the fight, so we're going to have more time to talk about that fight exactly. But make no mistake about it, Keith Thurman definitely acts different. Okay, whenever the name, Errol Spence is said. You remember the Lion King when, how the hyenas act when they say the name Mufasa, and then and they get all scared and shit. Mufasa, they're like, hey, like they get all fucking scared.
Right.
That's Keith Thurman when you say Errol Spence. Okay, you say Errol Spence or Crawford. You mention any of those two names, like the demeanor, everything just changes. And and all you got to do, right, with a guy like Keith Thurman is just understand, man, when the guy's demeanors change, like just like this fanboy we had here right now, he could come and tell me that some of these guys don't bring quote unquote the money to the table, but yet he fought Rocky Fielding, right? They could tell me all day that they're not impressed by Charlo, and so why should Triple G fight him? They could tell me this all day, but he just look at who Triple G just fought. You know, like the dude fought a dude ranked 83rd in the world not that long ago. In Canelo's case, fought a Liam Smith. Right, so like, don't pull this crap on me, all right? Because in Keith Thurman's case, he just fought Josecito Lopez. Look at the dudes Keith Thurman has fought that weren't that big of a name, that didn't quote unquote bring money to the table. You end up looking stupid when you do that. Right? He doesn't bring enough money to the table, okay, is a duck. That's what fighters do to duck fights. Period. Okay, that has always been, it's one of the oldest tricks in the book, right? Especially when you could easily just go to BoxRec or just look at their record and see that they fought dudes that weren't a big money draw, okay, they're on their resume already. You know what I mean?
Right.
But man, my opinion, Thurman does not want that smoke with the truth. He does not want any smoke, right? At all. All right. Reggie Owens, while I pull up the polls here on my end, you got any final thoughts?
Man, I can't wait. Oh, we got a fight tomorrow between the UK heavyweights. I want to see how that goes down. It kind of puts some of those UK fighters in position, hopefully, to get over here and match up with our heavyweight prospect being F.A. Ajagba. But you have, I believe, Gorman and who's that? Gorman and Daniel Dubois are getting down. I believe their fight is either I think it's Saturday or is it tomorrow? I know it's this week. And also Joey Joyce versus Brian Jennings as well. So we got some heavyweights getting down over in the UK. And right after that, because they're all talking about moving into title shots within 2020. So we get to see what they look like. But I got Nathan Gorman boxing the hell out of Daniel Dubois and exposing that dude. But can't wait to see that. And we get to see if Joe Joyce can even compete at the next level. And that test is going to be with Brian Jennings. So Brian Jennings is going to probably show us how slow this dude is, how robotic he is, and his lack of mobility, because Jennings going to jab the hell out of him, keep him off that jab, and dance around with him. But yeah, that's all I have on that one. And it's great being down with you, man. This is a great show, man. Y'all hit that like button. Y'all hit that share button as well.
All right. J-Ball, you were not timed out because you made an argument. All right. That's not why you were. You know why you were timed out. Stop acting stupid. All right. You're not going to call the host of this show a dumbass, okay, or any names, bro, okay, when I have the power to put you on timeout, all right? It's simple as that. It's simple as that, okay? It wasn't the mods. It was me. I timed you out. So don't go around. Look at this dude tattletelling. Oh, your mods. Like, I did it. I put you on timeout, all right? Everyone knows I'm all for free speech, bro. Dudes come here all the time and disagree with me all the time. Right? But that childish name calling, all that, it's not going to fly here. All right? I'm able to see what the mods blocked. I'm able to see it, what they deleted. All right? So stop tattletelling. Like, I did it. Okay, well, that's it. Maybe you could do this right. Use your jab. If you guys go to my the description on the bottom of the video, you will see a link to Reggie Owens' channel. You should click on that and make sure you subscribe to his channel. Are you going live tonight, Reggie?
I might, if I can get my kids to sleep on time so I ain't too late, then I'll definitely go on. Want me to send you a link? Right. But we covered everything. I probably don't even need to go on, man. We got kind of gotten in the subjects I want to speak on, man. It was heat. So no, I ain't gonna go on.
I hear. Okay. Well, you guys can still catch Reggie some other time, but subscribe to him. Hit that bell button. That way you're notified when he comes on live. The polls are closed officially. I've taken a screenshot. All right. The winner of the poll, let's go over this really quick. Roy Jones Jr. with 59% of the vote. Man, over half of the votes are Roy Jones Jr. on his first week. Paul Williams stays alive with 10%. Fraud stays alive with 10%, just barely. Winker Wright with 21% of the vote right there. Tomorrow, the storm is here, the Desert Storm. It is Timothy Bradley week, even though Bam Tweet hates it. But it's all right. All right? And make sure you guys check this out. Yeah, y'all must have forgot. The poll will go up soon, man. I believe either Sunday or Monday for the next appreciation week. It's going to be Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins, Eric Morales, and Miguel Cotto. Reggie Owens, who are you going to pick on that poll, man?
And give me those names once again.
Roy Jones Jr., Superman.
Matter of fact, I think I already – wait, I think I put my vote in for Roy.
No, that's the eliminator.
Oh, yeah.
Main poll. The championship poll is going to be Roy Jones Jr., Bernard Hopkins, Eric Morales, and Miguel Cotto.
Oh, Roy off top, man. I can't go against Roy, man.
Man, I think Roy's just going to breeze into like first ballot, like just – this shit's insane. Roy's definitely the favorite going into this. Christian NWO in the house. What's going on, bro? Yeah, Bam Bam's not so happy, but he's glad Paul Williams is alive. He has a better shot next week. I'll reveal who will be added to the next eliminator. All right, and remember, guys. Remember this. Okay, what was that, Reggie?
No, I was about to say, but even though people hate Tim Bradley, you got to give him credit. Tim Bradley had a spectacular boxing career. He may be a cornball sitting on that commentating booth, but his boxing career is deserving of respect. Like he was dope, man. He had some dope fights, man.
I gotta say, man, I remember Bradley was like, it was in his head. He's like, man, let me tell you, Fury, he's the best, man. He's the best heavyweight. I'm telling you. You could do this to anybody. Yeah, people are going to say, oh, look, but it was Schwartz. Like, that's just like, well, of course you're going to say that, Bradley. What else are we supposed to say? It was Thomas Schwartz. But I was all out of sorts. But we're not celebrating his commentary days, okay? We're celebrating his fighting days. All right, so come on, Bam Tweet. You got to give Bradley some respect, bro, okay? The dude had a great run. And he won the poll. He won the poll.
Yes, it did.
Timothy Headstorm Bradley, Christian in the video said. Hey, but Bradley and Evander Holyfield, man, that jab, and then boom with the forehead was the best move ever. All right? All right, but with that said, I give him credit for boxing. I should like his comment. I'm right with you, Batman Tweet, but we're not, I promise you, we're not going to talk about his commentating. Right? I'm not going to do that. And by the way, before I go, you guys make sure you catch all my post-fight reactions to Rocky versus Creed, Rocky Creed 2, Rocky Lang Creed, Rocky 2, Paulo versus Creed versus Ivan Drago, and Rocky versus Drago. All right. I don't know. I'm still debating if I should do the street fight with Tommy Gunn. I'm not sure yet. Okay. But I might do some more for other movies. With that said, man, Reggie Owens, before we go, tell people where they can find you.
Yes, indeed. Y'all can find me at Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. Always trying to drop content, go live every now and then. My lives aren't consistent because, man, I'm a dedicated pop, so I don't like to go on live when my kids are making noise, so I got to put them in bed. But as long as we all putting together great content, We're keeping this sport of boxing alive, keeping it relevant and growing and keeping it interesting. Keep showing support and also show the legends, man. The legends, even with you, man. I'm gonna put you down with the historians too, D-Style, because you guys are bringing back a lot of those old classic bouts, making me entertained to go back and building my wealth of knowledge of stuff I've forgotten. I think that's a real critical thing within the sport, is to bring it back some of the old heyday, old style fighters. And it's also critical because you see it, not to go off on a tangent too much, but you also seeing it to where it's being done in music, where they have to go back, bring back the history of keeping music alive, keeping it relevant to where you get those great moments. Reliving the past brings about the greatness of the sport. And it's also great for some of the current fighters to learn the history of past era fighters. And a lot of the young fighters are just in there fighting off of talent, but they have no knowledge on the history of past fighters. I think that's the greatest thing being shared within the sport, and what people are doing with their platforms is going back in time and reliving these historic moments within the sport. But salute to y'all for doing that. Once I build up my knowledge, I'm gonna do the same thing y'all doing. I'm gonna copy y'all a little bit.
That's right. That's right, man. Well said. The link to his channel is in the description box. Scroll down, guys. Hit that link. Don't forget the dollar initiative. Just $1 to the PayPal. The email is on the bottom, right? And Nelson Santos is right. This is DStyleBoxing. Keep it boxing. I'm out.